Hello, my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here. Hey, 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 hey. It's the Phenomenal STEMist. Good to see you guys out here this evening on a Wednesday night. Phenomenal Financial Freedom. Oh man, last Sunday was amazing. Getting a lot of good reviews. I guess I'm back to my low viewership now. Lots of views, lots of messaging. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope there's somebody watching now. I see a couple of people watching. Those of you who are on LinkedIn, I didn't share what I shared on LinkedIn, but check out my YouTube channel just to remind you. Um, Subscribe to my YouTube page. Got a couple of good, cool subscribers. You can find me on YouTube, Dr. Maya Byfield. My last video was amazing. Good reviews. Always remember that Phenomenal STEMist. The book is out on Amazon. Feel free to purchase it. But if you have interest in raising a successful STEM student from the womb to the university, of course, you can always find me on www.phenomenalstemist.com as well. All right. Well, today we're talking about banks. I don't know if you saw that I I shared a live video of Congress interrogating CEOs of banks, Jamie Dimon, Frazier from Citibank, Moynihan. Like, I'm really interested in those types of things. And, there was something that came out today that was very interesting that I would like to share with those of you who watch. And I want to share the value of banks. I want to share the value of banks because there are so many people that are unbanked. And they say they don't trust the banks, but the same people will trust a payday loan organization. And I'm sorry, yes, the banks, some of them are crooked people, maybe selfish people, maybe, but no way they're near. They're nowhere near um, payday loan organizations. And so more of us are using payday loan organizations and cash checking companies to cash their check. And so, yeah, I just want to talk about the value of banks today. I know Congress went in on them today, but I'll fully disclosure, I'm a stockholder in JP Morgan Chase, but I value banks. I value them. They have been pivotal to my wealth creation, and pivotal to um, the innovation, the things that organizations desire to do. They are funded by banks. The home that I live in has a mortgage because a bank lent me money, and I don't have to pay an exorbitant amount of rent because a bank gave me some money. So, with all the hoopla and negative commentaries there are for banks, I just want to give a shout out to banks and show what they are. Okay? Banks don't have all my money, but well, a lot of my equity is in the form of some kind of bank. So, let's start off. I don't know who's watching, but hey, send me a message to say hi. I would love to see who's watching. So, number 1, what is a bank? What is a bank? So, I mean, I really think there are so many people who don't have access to this information. They don't even know what a bank is, and they're afraid of banks. What is a bank? A bank is a financial institution. Okay, a bank is a financial institution that has shown themselves worthy through licensing to accept checks, savings, and the ability to make loans. In order to, you know, protect people's money, um, loan people money, be insured just in case something dramatic happens, you have to show yourself worthy and prove yourself to do that. And banks have the ability. There are different types of banks. There are retail banks, commercial banks, corporate banks, investment banks, credit unions. And I am proud to say that I have financial instruments in all. I have JP Morgan Chase for example, a commercial bank. Not only do I have stock in it, my mother has a bank account with it, right? And my first home loan was with that. So, meaning they weren't making that much money off of me because I'm all about paying my bills. So another bank bought them from me, but before I'm with my current mortgage, my current bank, it was JP Morgan. Shout out to JPM. Corporate organization. We'll talk about what they do. Retail bank. I grew up watching Citibank as a kid. I had my first adult account with Citi, and I'm still with them. Still with them. That's my major bank. Citi. Charles Schwab is an example of an investment bank. Um, my business account, you have credit unions. You see, so there are different types of banks, and they all have value. They all have value, and I think I want to show some love and respect to banks. So what do they do? Well, for the most part, they house checking accounts. Like when you get paid, you don't have to go to a check cashing company. You get direct deposit into a bank that is insured. If something goes wrong, you'll get your money back easily. You can't say that for other organizations. Shout out to all these other new organizations that get in commercials, but these organizations aren't FIDC. They're not insured. So if you lose your money, that's it. That's it. So checking accounts give you the ability to get paid and then to pay others, right? Um, if you get the right bank account or get a direct deposit or some certainty of having money in the bank, you won't pay fees. All right. Or if it's low fees. They also allow for saving accounts, meaning you could actually put money to just sit in the account and they will give you interest. Now, is it a lot of interest? Absolutely not. So, certificate of deposits and money market accounts pay really low interest. So, do I have a lot of money in my savings account? No. However, I'm able to house emergency funds where I'm not really trying to make a lot of money on my emergency fund. I'm just housing it just in case something happens. I don't want to house an emergency fund in my house. If something happens, it'll be easily taken. So it's about security. Banks, in my opinion, the first thing that banks provide for me is security. They're not trying to take my money. They're not charging me interest to house their money, right? They're not charging me fees to cash my check. Some of you guys go to cash checking companies because you were raised like that. Your mom went to a cash checking, your dad went to a cash checking. And so you just know to do it, not realizing they're taking money out of your paycheck versus a bank. It's free to house your money, you know? It's free to house your money. So, security and freedom in the housing of your money. All right? But the third major thing that banks do is they give loans, mortgages, business loans. Now, that what needs to happen more, I can say this, and this was coming out today in the committee, the finance committee for the Congress. Like, you gotta empower your the community where you live. Unfortunately, banks take all the money, deposits, house the money, and then take risks with the money in other venues. They don't they don't take risks with the money in the community at large. And therefore, um the community at large doesn't benefit from all the community's housing of money. So banks need to do a better job of loaning money to the people in which they live and serve. I can admit to that. I can admit to that because then that can empower a community and bring wealth to the community and innovation to the community. Communities are putting money in the bank at low inflation and not getting the benefits that banks provide. Billions of dollars they're holding, billions of dollars they're making on the leverage of the money. There are online banks versus brick and mortar. You know, this new generation is more interested in doing online banking, and that's fine. But you just gotta be careful. My bank is heavily my retail bank doesn't have a lot of brick and mortar here and where I live, so most of my banking is online, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's also a place where I can go to talk to someone and get cash, and so that's also important. All right, so there are different types of banks, as I said before. Retail bank like Citibank, that's a retail bank. They're more focused in giving services to the consumer, like myself. They 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 don't have a lot of services for larger organizations. A commercial bank is like that. So J.P. Morgan Chase is a commercial bank. They leverage much more money to the community. I mean, to commercial or businesses and etc. So, therefore, since they have more money leveraged, they make much more money. That's one of the reasons why I'm a fan of J.P. Morgan Chase more than I am of Citi in terms of stocks, right? But I'm a fan of Citi because this it was my retail bank from childhood in New York, and not really childhood, but young adult days, and so I keep it. So different people have different reasons for having banks. Um, Investment banks like Charles Schwab, these are banks that focus heavily on financial transactions when it comes to stocks and bonds.
right? So they or other types of services that involves high level investment and merging and things like that. They do a lot of investment in larger companies. All right, so investment banks are different than retail banks. They don't you can't have a bank account where you are um, taking money out for checking and things like that. They do a lot of financial complex services. All right, credit unions. Credit unions are union banks, meaning a specific people come together for a specific cause and they put their money in the bank. They're members in an association, for instance. If you're a teacher, you have the credit union. You know, these are different types of credit unions. And what they don't they're nonprofit, so their goal is not to take money from the community as much. They don't have a lot of fees. These I love credit unions because they empower the community a little bit more. So credit unions are good, but you have to be a member of that union, whatever that union is, whether it be teachers association or whatever. Okay, I just want the unbanked, the non-banked, to really like get a bank account. Um, I think it would be a great idea to have a field trip to a bank for kids on how to open up a bank account. It's very easy. It's free if you have a certain amount of money in there. Um, Especially if you have a job and you could do direct deposit of your paycheck. These companies, the key thing that the banks provide is safety for your money without taking much of your money. Now, if you do overdrafting, then you're going to be paying fees, but just don't overdraft. And there's no the fees are nowhere near. Matter of fact, two companies, I think it's Bank of America and Citibank, I believe, can't remember, but two banks have waived all overdraft fees. Yeah, Citibank is one. So if you make the mistake of drafting money that you don't have, normally it costs you $35 fee, a fine. They Citibank and another bank have done away with that fee, and it's still nowhere near compared to the interest people pay on payday loans. So even with the small amount of fees that banks may have, it has nowhere near robbed our community the way payday loans companies have. Right? I know you may not want the world to know or have access to your money. I guess when you put money in banks, you run people who do things illegally um, may not be able to hide. But if you do things legally, you're not trying to lie on your taxes. There's no reason to fear the bank. There's no reason to fear the bank. This is just one of the great reasons you're able to stash your bank and it's insured up to $250,000, just to make clear. So if something goes wrong, you can be reimbursed $250,000 per bank account, per bank. Back in the days, the Great Depression led to a crash. People lost all their money in the savings and loans banking organization, and they made changes. And the same thing with 2008 when there was a great recession and banks were doing really risky things with people's deposits, and they had to be protected, right? Insured, right? The Dodd-Frank Act came out. They made new regulations to protect people from bad decisions from banks. So I still think banks are the safest place to place your money, especially your short term money, um, like savings, emergency fund, your checking account. It gives you ability to have one place where you can pay your bills from. And all of that, having one place for security, having one place to consistently pay your bills from, have one place to have credit cards and borrow and repay, have one place to invest in a retirement account, have the ability to purchase a home for a small amount of money but get high levels of equity, right? All of these reasons are reasons to respect the banks. So thank you, Bank of America. No, forget Bank of America. Thank you, JP Morgan. Thank you, Charles Schwab. Thank you, Additional Credit Union Financial. Thank you, Citibank. It takes a lot of organization. I heard Jimmy Dimon crack on the government. He said, I wish some of you who talk negative about banks could run the organization. I mean, he has billions of dollars, billions of brick and mortar, um, billions of call centers, like dollars in call centers. Like, in order to organize these financial institutions, you gotta give respect where respect is due. So, put your money in the bank, y'all. Not all of it, but thanks to the banks. You guys have a good day.